Welcome to Company Showcase, an advertising feature on HowStreet.com.
I'm Jim Goddard. I'm speaking with American Manganese CEO and President Larry Reaugh. Welcome back to the show, Larry.
Jim, it's always good to be on the show.
Larry, you've been pretty busy there at American Manganese. 2 releases out this week. What can you tell us about it?
Well, we've had 2 releases, you're correct. And the first one was that the company had engaged GRA Enterprises for investor relations. And as the market can see, they're very effective. And we're happy to be aboard. We got a very good price on it. And we have a 6-month campaign underway, which has resulted in quite a few exercise of warrants. So, that kind of beefs up our treasury, in which, by the way, we're in good shape. We won't be looking for any serious money probably till maybe as late as March. And we also announced on the 27th that we began negotiations with Kemetco Research because we've had some ballpark numbers that have been out there and some ballpark timelines. And, but initial discussions with Kemetco Research is telling us that a lot of this equipment's going to have to be fabricated and designed to be fabricated. And that takes a lot of extra time. We've been held up even on our pilot plant when we're out for a fabricated piece for up to 3 or 4 months. So, we'll come up with a more realistic timeline, and it'll be further down the road. But that's all I can really say about that now. And as far as cost goes, when you're fabricating materials, that may increase the cost somewhat. So, these are things that we have to deal with as they come along. And we'll be meeting this month with Kemetco to, get the cost of a preliminary assessment, similar to the PIA, and so that's what we're looking for, because that'll put us in a good standing position with negotiating with potential partners or financing, and so this has got to be done before anything else is done. And I'm not sure exactly how long that will take. Once we get into it, we'll have a better idea. But then we'll also have a better idea after we discuss this with Kemetco, and they give us a budget and an estimation of what it's going to cost to basically move ahead with this project. But I can't say that I'm not unhappy with everything that's happening in the company. Certainly, the stock is much more active. The fact that the people like Eric Sprott have joined in on trying to get the uptick rule reinstated is good for all the companies. Certainly, I can see the benefits for us. Currently you just don't know how the day is going to finish because of the not being an uptick rule in the exchange. So those are just a couple of the things that are happening. The other thing that's been happening is there's a lot more news coming out from recycling companies. Sometimes I think that we must have set the pattern on how you make the news release, because they seem almost very familiar in their structure to our news releases. And but we're happy with the fact that we do have 2 patents. Everybody else is either patent pending or doesn't have a patent, and they're talking in a situation that took us. If you want to take a look at the total time it took to develop this process, it started back in 2009 with manganese, and we've just moved on and on and on and on from there. So it's been a number of years to actually nail down the process. It wasn't something that happened overnight. We had some pretty good ideas on the second process from the manganese process because, we had a guideline there, and that guideline was telling us we should be able to do the same with the cathode materials. So I think everybody should be happy that those patents are in place. Eventually this will become a field where there's going to be other people participating, whether they'll be able to do it in the same fashion that we hope to do it, and that is that we hope to be able to set up a plant that has nothing that's going to go into the environment, no bad stuff. And we have a closed circuit. Everything's been working out well with that. We initially got 100% recoveries, but that was under very ideal conditions. And now that we're working with disassembly of even the scrap material, that introduces problems on its own. You get losses on the aluminum strips, and but the purity is very important. I mean, you can't sell an impure product to a battery manufacturer. And, the alternate thing for us to do would be just to produce the metals and sell them, which would be the simple thing to do. But we want to have the biggest advantage to getting a market out there for our end product. So that's why we're striving very hard to get high purity material and the highest possible recoveries. We've got a method of actually shredding the scraps and the sizing them and everything else. That's proprietary, and we're not putting that out there. But the thing is that we do have a method that gets us the best results. And when we get some material that's prepared by somebody else, and we're at the mercy of actually, getting less recoveries, as you've seen earlier on in the mid 80s and up to 90%. So we can deal with that. Anybody that's going to be sending us scrap that's going to be done, they'll have to follow our standards of sizing, and that should make a better product at the end of the day. So our news, we're almost closing out the year. Our news has been on an uptick. We still have a lot of calls coming in. We still have a lot of potential financing proposals. And we are not sure which way we'd go, but my preferred way to go would be on a convertible debenture to build the plant, or bring in a partner to put up a big chunk of the money to do that for an interest. So rather than keep going to the market for dilution. So we're going to try to stay away from as much dilution as we can. But sometimes, especially in the last year, the only solution was dilution. And so we had to go with that. But you had to make up your mind, bite the bullet, and do it, or else we'd be sitting back a year behind us. And, we did that. We bit the bullet, and it took a few months to get our placement completed. But we did, and now we're still in a fairly good financial position to move ahead into the new year. So that's the good news I've got for today. Especially with hopefully with the regulators deciding that maybe an uptick rule is a good idea, and so that we can get the not only our stock but the venture exchange back on a positive manner. Right now, it's looking like the end of the days for it. So. Which in case we'd have to probably move to the U.S. exchange. But the point is that, there's things that can be done that can, save the exchange. I can remember when we had the big drive to get down to a single entity, and on the Vancouver Exchange, and that was getting rid of the Alberta, Saskatchewan, and the Ontario over-the-counter and everything else. And now we got so many platforms, I can't even remember how many there are out there. So we should get back to a single exchange, and that way it can be better monitored, and you can have a better idea of the bid and the asks. You don't know what's happening on the platforms. And it gives us levels of playing field, which would encourage investors to come back into the market.
Larry, where are you traded, and how can people get more information about American Manganese?
Well, you can go to our website at AmericanManganeseInc.com, and you can, we're traded on the Toronto Venture Exchange under the symbol AMY. We're traded in the U.S. under the symbol AMYZF, and we're traded in Frankfurt under the symbol 2AM. You can reach the company at 778-574-4444, or if you want to talk to me, you can email me at LREAUGH@AMYMN.com.
Larry, thank you so much for the update.
You're welcome.
I've been speaking with Larry Reaugh, CEO and President of American Manganese. I'm Jim Goddard. Our conversation took place on November 29th.
Comments made on Company Showcase are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any manner whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Archived online at HowStreet.com. Company Showcase is a production of How Street Media Incorporated.